What up, everyone? Welcome back to Blade Bias. I wanted to do a video since I did that other video earlier this week where I talked about how I haven't been giving much attention to my plastic or my metal balisongs lately. I figured I would do a video on why that is. Why have I been flipping plastic so much? And why do I like plastic so much? What makes it so enjoyable to me? Because just a few short months ago, I was considering making a video talking about how bored I was with plastic. All the designs that we were getting were kind of, they were smaller makers that were just posting 3D renders that might not ever exist. And it was just like, should I get excited about this or what makes it unique? Nothing really made it unique. It was like, eh. But now I am excited about plastic as a whole. Now, let me make a clarification. I was always excited about plastic, but only specific trainers. Like when the Calico came out, I was excited about the Calico, but the Calico didn't make me excited about plastic in general. That changed when I got this, the Edit Lite. Now the Edit I got before the Edit Lite, and that made me excited about the Edit, but not about plastic in general. It wasn't until the Edit Lite that I got excited about the general idea of plastic balisongs. And that's because it's a heavier tape flipper. Why does that matter? Because the tape flipper was the first ever plastic balisong that I took on a trip with me and flipped for a week straight without anything else and loved it the whole time. Normally back then, when I only had my squiddy and my cycloid, I would flip them and then kind of go crazy and then go back to metal because I just really like the weight of it. In fact, I only had a squiddy for 2 months. It was my first balisong. And even without knowing what anything else was, the urge to try something heavier grew exponentially until I ended up buying the Arctic. But the tape flipper was the first time I never really felt that. It's a little light, so I don't think I could go longer than about a week. But it's so well balanced and so well distributed that it was fine. And I even learned new tricks while I was on that vacation. I learned the scissor on the tape flipper on that vacation. That's unheard of for any other plastic balisong for me, because plastic balisongs up to that point were always augments. They were like, oh, I'll flip it for an hour here, 20 minutes here, and then go back to my metal promptly. But now the Edit Lite is a tape flipper. It's distributed. It flips really well, but it's also heavier. It's in the sweet spot. The sweet spot I consider for plastic balisongs to be like 2.5 to 3 ounces. Which I know the Squiddy B is in that range, but the Squiddy B is also the white bread of plastic balisongs. It's kind of like the Kraken. But now most of the major players are in that 2.5 to 3.0 sweet spot. I will say the Calico isn't, the Cycloid isn't, but the Calico feels heavier than it is, so it feels like it's like 2.5 or 2.6. And the Cycloid is too cool to hold the weight against it, so... But the Edit Lite just was such a good experience that it didn't just make me excited about the Edit Lite. It made me excited about plastic in general, and it kickstarted my foray into plastic. With me, it saw me buying the Cycloid. It saw me getting excited about other designs that were coming out. Like, it was a game changer, and still is to this day. So I figured I would talk about kind of why that is. First and foremost, the difference between plastic balisongs is way greater than the difference between metal balisongs. Now, I just want to start out by saying it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all, but it's a pretty unarguable fact that there is so much more different between these things than there are with most metal trainers. Let's take this for example. I'll take the Prisma versus the Kraken trainer. What's different between these two? Well, they both ring. They're both made out of aluminum. This one's more durable. It's made out of better quality aluminum. This one is more neutral. Has a little bit of blade bias. This one's more handle biased. That's kind of it. Like, obviously it goes harder than that. But I like to think of a bit that Brandon did in the Will Hirsch Marin review, where he took the Marin and the Marin Light and he went, both good, light, better, clack, ring, money, not money. Thank. And it kind of sums up how I feel about metal. It kind of sums up what I'm talking about here. Because the difference between metal balisongs usually comes down to balance, price, and ergonomics. Oh, the Prisma is more blocky. The Kraken Trainer is more handle biased. But when you look at plastic balisongs, it's a lot deeper than that. And again, I'm not saying that's a bad thing with metal. I'm not saying that is a bad thing at all. I'm simply just explaining why I'm a bit more excited about plastic currently, because there's more differences between the two. Look at the top three, the Holy Trinity, as I like to call them. Every single thing about these bad boys is different. Different balances, different weights, different pin systems, pinless, tang pin, zen pin, bearings, washers, weights, it's all different. And then you have things like adjustable weights. If I pulled the edit out, I would have the adjustable weights on that too. The calico feels way heavier than it actually is. Oh, wait. I can't get the edit right now. It's just like and yeah, some of that comes down to ergonomics and comfort and price and all that. But like each one of these has something that makes it special in more ways than just it has a really good balance. Because that's what it comes down to with metal. I hope you understand what I mean. Like, oh, why is the Nemesis so good? Oh, it's got a really good balance and I really like the ergonomics of it. That's about it. Why do you like the cycloid? I really like the amount of engineering that went into this. I really like this hot swappable weight system. I like the fact that it has tang pins that feel good. And it's just overall a pretty cool balisong. I like the bearings and all that. Why do you like the edit light? Because I can customize it completely. Because its price is one of the best. Because its price is so cheap that it makes it impossible not to recommend to anyone that wants to get into the hobby. It flips so well. Same thing. It makes it impossible to not recommend to anyone that wants to get into the hobby. What makes a calico so special? Well, it makes any beginner tricks, or it makes any handle bias tricks ridiculously easy for a beginner. This is how beginners should learn to chaplain. This is how beginners should learn to 0G chaplain, because it's just easy. It makes it almost like automatic and magical. It feels heavier than it is. It's got this cute little cat design, and it just flips really, really well. You know? So again, not any points against metal, but just reasons why I enjoy plastic. Because I can recommend, I have pretty close working relationships with all three of these. Zippy sent me the original cycloid, Flipforge just sent me a bunch of stuff, and Tay has also sent me a bunch of stuff and come to me for opinions on like products and stuff like that. And I can recommend any one of these three without feeling like it's a conflict of interest to the others, you know? Not that I would feel that, because I always want to provide the best recommendation that I can for anyone who asks. But you know what I mean? It's like if you have a close working relationship with someone and you recommend something else, you might feel a little bad. But I don't, because chances are if I'm recommending the calico to someone, the edit light probably wouldn't have appealed to them that much. I'm probably recommending it to them for a specific reason. And it's just cool. But the other main thing is the public flippingness of it. Because if you get a plastic balisong with a light blade, not a white blade, a light blade, doesn't look like metal, then anyone who thinks you're flipping a knife, that's a them problem. That's a skill issue. Anyone comes up to you and says, hey, is it a knife? You go, no. It weighs nothing. It's a plastic toy. And look, it's got cat ears. You think this is a knife? Okay. What did you eat for breakfast? And it's just like, that's great. It's a pretty easy public flipper. Whereas some metal trainers will raise a few eyebrows, and that's kind of weird. It's kind of awkward. These pretty much won't, and that's pretty great. That's pretty epic. But also, I like the ease of use. If I'm flipping in public, chances are I don't want to go hard drilling some crazy tricks. I just want to casually flip while I'm sitting here enjoying the rain outside. I'm not doing anything too crazy. I'm not paying too much attention to what I'm doing. And I can just flip plastic. Whereas metal is a little easy. It's a little harder to do that. So if I'm in public, I just want to kind of chill flip. And that's why plastic usually ends up in my EDC bag as compared to metal. I used to carry around metal all the time, but now I've changed. It used to be, oh, I'll carry my Arctic or my Nemesis. Now it's, oh, should I carry my cycloid or my edit light today? So that's pretty much it. I hope to continue to be excited about plastic balisongs. I have a lot of people, everyone and their mom is asking me to review the Chroma V2, but I keep looking at it and I keep wondering what makes it so special or what makes it so good. It doesn't really seem to have anything that's like terribly unique to it and it only like these three have. Maybe I'll try it eventually since so many people are asking, but we'll see. What I really want to do is make a video about my top 3 plastic balisongs, which I would do, but running out of space in the camera and, you know, ending this pre-record session. So if you want to see that, let me know. Make it in the future. And I'm going to do a plastic tier list eventually as a live stream on my main channel. Or a video on my main channel. Or both. Who knows? So that'll be fun. But yeah, that's why I like plastic. Let me know why you like plastic. Or maybe why you don't like plastic. Unless you're one of those people who says it's too expensive. In which case, your opinion is quite literally invalid. Please go away. Oh, the glow mod is better than the calico because the glow mod actually costs what a plastic balisong should cost. Yeah, the glow mod is also dog shit. Come at me. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.